folks, welcome to another Geeks on the Side video here. We got a pickup video, special one this time. Me, your host V, as well as Jeebus and AJ over there, our editor, decided to go to Midwest Gaming Classic this weekend. Burton here unfortunately couldn't make it, but he's here joining us for the pickup video. And let's start all things off here.
Why don't we explain what Midwest Gaming Classic is really quick?
True. We totally should. It is a video game convention in the Midwest area. It takes place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin there, at the giant convention center there in downtown.
Yep. We should also specify it's not specifically video games. It is gaming overall in general. So when it comes to tabletop, there were some tabletop vendors there, as well as an area to
Yu-Gi-Oh!
play tabletop games.
All forms of
there
gaming.
was Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Warhammer 40k. There was everything there. So there was tabletop. It is primarily video
Dungeons
games.
and Dragons, yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, yes. It was primarily video games, and also some very classic pinball games, as well as new age pinball
Yeah,
games.
new age. There was the Godzilla one there. James and I were looking at it, and we saw the price, and we were like, maybe not.
They had an auction where you could bid on arcade cabinets and pinball machines and things like that. Way out of our price range. Oh, yeah. But it was very cool. So all types of gaming in general.
Oh, they also have like a maker section too, where people like I know the YouTuber what is it, BitBuilt, something like that, was there, and he showed off some of his stuff.
We'll edit the name in here.
Yeah, we'll pop it up somewhere on the screen. But
check it out. They're really cool.
It's a really cool convention. It's not meant to be like a big crazy con like a lot of them. I do hope it gets bigger, because it was bigger pre-COVID.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But overall, it's a place where you could trade, buy, sell, and acquire most types of gaming in general.
Yeah, I met some other streamers, as well as saw other streamers. Like I saw Phoenix, who's a reseller, but I didn't get to talk to him. John Riggs is there, or is that Riggs?
Yeah, John Riggs.
Yeah, John Riggs was there. Shook his hand, took a picture with him. Met Ben Heck. He's a big guy that does a lot of teardown videos on his channel. So,
That's worth checking out. Might be able to get another video with some of the footage we captured as we were walking around up on the channel.
Oh yeah,
at some point. Depends on the sky.
What? Excuse me? What?
I did call you the editor.
It's all on you.
I see. Well, being the workhorse here. No.
I may be the one with the giant green blotch covered on my face as we're walking around.
I'll find funny things to put over you. I guarantee it.
I'm gonna get started.
That's alright. Jibbas will probably be coming out with some tree.
I'll
stuff later on.
Yeah,
we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
For now,
the pipeline.
Let's look at the two main haulers here and see what they've been able to acquire in light of this convention.
Yeah. So I figure we'll start by console manufacturer. We'll start with Atari, Nintendo, Sega, Sony.
So we'll start with the only Atari game that I picked up there, Yar's Revenge.
Yep. Good one.
Good one.
I had that game growing up on my father's Atari. That was always my favorite. Pretty much space shooter. You can go in. The goal is to destroy the enemy shield. Destroy the base underneath it.
Too if you need to.
No, this is easier this way.
All right.
There's actually one of my favorite ways of playing that was you could summon a cannon by touching the shield, and the enemy base would eventually turn into a spiral that flies across the string at you. So what I would do is I'd touch the shield, get the missile, hide at the bottom, wait for the spiral to come, shoot it, dodge out of the way, and feel like a boss.
Over the hoop, off the backboard, nothing but net.
Exactly. But that's our only Atari pickup because.
No, wait! I also got a button.
Oh, button!
A button.
You did get a button.
I got a
gotta
button.
promote the button.
Yeah.
You never forget
your first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they did not have Miner 2049 for Atari. Otherwise, I would have picked that up.
Most definitely would have been a great one to pick up.
Right. So I guess now let's start with the NES and Famicom. I guess I'll show off my Famicom pickup. So this is something I've been wanting to play for a while, and as much as Namco likes to re-release a lot of their old arcade and stuff, they haven't really released this one a whole lot in the West. So I got the original Famicom cart for Valkyrie no Boken. This is basically Namco's Zelda. It was released in arcades. The only, the NES game is I forget if it's a sequel or a prequel, but it's not the exact arcade game. The arcade game was Valkyrie no Densetsu, Legend of Valkyrie, if you happen to have a copy of the Namco Museum 5 for PS1, which is the only way that made it to the States. Or if you have the Valkyrie no Densetsu for PC Engine. But either way, yeah, it's a Zelda style game, Super Famicom, done by Namco. Looked like a lot of fun, so I've been looking for both of them in some form, but
lift it up towards the camera a little bit just to give them a little
Yeah,
closer shot of the artwork.
Shot, yeah.
And yes, I can read Japanese a little bit, so
just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. Just enough to get by.
You got more on me. I can't read it worth damn.
Yep, neither can I.
So do you have NES pickup?
No, I got Super Nintendo.
Well, then I'm going to go through the rest of my NES haul.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got way more NES.
I did not go in expecting to get a bunch of NES, but I ended up getting a bunch of NES. So
you got the one game I was looking for.
Yeah, I got the one game you were looking for.
Yeah.
So after getting through Metroid Dread, I've been looking for other Nintendo properties that I haven't really done a whole lot with. And Kid Icarus is one that's always kind of caught my attention. And for some reason, I was also getting big into rail shooters like Panzer Dragoon, Star Fox, stuff like that a few years ago, and I completely forgot the 3DS game that came out for Kid Icarus. So I was like, okay, may as well try this out. I played through the first one on the Switch. I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'll go through and I'll try and collect. I mean, it's only 3 games, so, why the heck not? So that's my collection. Next one up, kind of in the same vein of Valkyrie no Boken, we got Star Tropics. Again, much with Kid Icarus, they're both available on the Switch, the NES library that you get with the base online now, not the full. Well, I mean, anyway,
it's actually really nice artwork. The scenery here too.
Like you're called to an island,
and without the text, I could get that as a desktop background. That'd be cool.
The story is like you're called to an island. And I forget if it's your uncle or your grandfather goes missing, so you go on this big adventure over these islands, trying to rescue them. And yeah, I played a little bit of it. I haven't gotten too far into it on my Switch, but I was like, okay, this is really cool. And it's got this one, and there's a sequel available on NES as well called Zora's Revenge. Not that Zora, different Zora.
Not that Zora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember the Zora Revenge one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's a little obscure and has a bit of a story behind it. The game is called Target Renegade. So, fun fact, European PC companies back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
This Rambo-looking dude here.
Yeah. They tend to get the license to do a computer port at the time. And then they end up using that as a way to jump off and do spin-offs or sequels with similar naming conventions. So, this was done, the original game was done by Ocean. Who had the rights to the arcade game / NES game Renegade, which is the first game in the Kunio-kun series, if you're familiar with like River City Rampage or River City Girls or Super Dodgeball was one of the games. They had a bunch of games that were retitled, a bunch of different stuff. So this was a sequel to the port of the original Renegade. So I like stuff like that where it's like the game actually has like a deeper history than you'd think. Which is also ties into the next 2 games coming up. So, third game on this list of stuff I probably wasted money on because it's also available on the Switch. Star Force. So this was a Taito arcade game. The NES port was done by Hudson, the Bowerman Hudson. Why that's so unique is they use that same system and formula to make their own series of shooters called Star Soldier, which is my next pickup. So this was the first game in the Star Soldier series. It was on NES, PC Engine. I think the last one was on N64, and then they had a bunch of compilations for PSP. There are probably some other ones I'm missing, but that's another one I started dipping my toes in with Star Force on the Switch.
I think the guy on the cover needs more hair. He needs to get Colonel Guile level of spikes.
There's nothing wrong with not having a ton of hair.
Well, what's the price on that one there? It looks like it's still got a price tag on it.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it's right there at the top.
Oh, it is?
Oh.
That was my
It wasn't much.
We didn't see that one.
Whatever.
But no, seriously, he needs the Colonel Guile hair. That's the only American way, and it has to be played by someone foreign.
And the last NES pickup I did was Codename Viper. It's a game published by Capcom, developed by Arc System Works. I wasn't aware of that. But gameplay-wise, it's very similar to Rolling Thunder, another Namco arcade game. Side-scrolling shooter where you can jump between the platforms. Where Rolling Thunder is a bit more espionage. It's kind of James Bond-esque. This one looks more Commando-esque because you're going in, you're rescuing people, getting new weapons and stuff like that. Again, another game that looked like a lot of fun, and thought I'd pick it up. And it got a pretty decent price on the game in the box and the sleeve. So
I absolutely love the super 80s artwork on it. I mean, they're all going to pretty much have that because that's the generation it came out. But the artwork is fantastic. You could definitely see this as a movie cover.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah,
kind of reminds me of the U.S. Strider box art for NES.
Yeah. All right. I'll clear this stack out, and then I guess move on to the next generation.
We'll move on to Super Nintendo. For sure.
Yep.
You got,
I got one Super Nintendo game here. Or actually, I got two, actually.
Yeah, cool.
So I got first one there is Battle Clash. It's a Super Scope game. It's one where you actually do mech battles. It's one of the better Super Scope games, although you can't really say Super Scope had good games to begin with. But, I mean, if you're going to get them, Battle Clash, and then there was a sequel, Metal Clash. I was trying to find that one, but I couldn't find that one at the convention, unfortunately. Nobody had that one, but everybody had Battle Clash. And then picked up an import there.
Side here.
It's part of the Mario Paint series. It is the Mario and Wario.
Actually, it's closer to the what's it called? Mario versus Donkey Kong,
Is
or
it?
like Donkey Kong '93. Yeah, because in the game, Wario dumps a bucket on Mario's head and you use the mouse to control the fairy to give him a path to walk on from point A to point B.
Okay.
This little fairy right there, is that what you're talking about?
Yep, yeah, the little fairy there. But yeah, I got it just because it was complete in box, and I've been missing the mouse pad for the actual, like, my mouse. So I was like, the guy said it was like, yeah, $40. I was like, yeah, $40 isn't bad for an import that's complete in box.
If it's got the mouse,
pristine condition, yeah.
Yeah. So.
You know, like, even the mouse pad was in plastic still, so I can't complain there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good pickup. I was jealous. I'll be honest. I was just because that's one of the ones I was thinking about. Like, I don't have any other use for the mouse, but I do enjoy like the.
You know, I actually have another mouse game. It's King Arthur's something, and like it's.
That's not the one for the Saturday morning cartoon, right?
No, it isn't.
Okay.
It's a different King Arthur thing, but it's like it's a point and click game with a mouse. It's interesting.
I have to take a look at it for Super Nintendo.
Yeah, for Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
I saw it at a disc replay in the area once, so I just picked it up and I just gave it a little test run. But yeah, I didn't get too far into it. But it is point and click, and you kind of just use it to get Arthur around. So
okay,
yeah,
cool. So
that's what I got for.
What do we got next?
Yep, I got a couple Super Nintendo. One Super Nintendo, Arrow the Acrobat, from the age of mascot platformers.
Oh yes, there's so many mascots.
So many mascot platformers. Arrow the Acrobat and sequel aren't too special. He's got like unique ways of moving around and dashing around the sky. But the third game, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, is actually supposed to be pretty good. Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. Yep. It's one of those cases where he's the villain in the earlier games and then comes back as an anti-hero.
he comes back as an anti-hero. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah,
that one on the side
that,
here.
and then the one I got for Super Famicom is Super Bomberman 5. So in the U.S. we only got 2 Super Bomberman games. Europe got the third game, and then in Japan there were a total of 5 released. So I'm working my way through collecting those, and I just need to get the Bomberman Face multi-tap for the Super Nintendo, and then we can do Crazy Bomberman. I'm huge with Bomberman. You're gonna find that out.
Stop! You're shaking the tank.
Yeah,
you're shaking
the camera.
shaking. Don't worry, we'll cut that part out.
All right, so I guess N64 would be next. So,
yep. So I made a mistake here when I made this 64 purchase.
You have this game already?
Yes, I already have this game. I thought I was buying the first Quake, but yeah, I thought I didn't have Quake 2, and I had Quake 1, but I had it reversed, so I ended up buying another copy of Quake 2. But it's something I could use to trade later on down the road for another game or something.
I was about to say, or do they have like a system link so we can set up like Quake?
I don't know. You know, I'll have to take a look into that because I don't know if 64 actually had online. Yeah.
No, they didn't have online, but like System Link.
Yeah.
I thought there were like certain games that
I think they might have had System Link, but I think you have to have the DD to do the System Link.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll have to take a look into that because that's one thing I know. I don't think 64 had because it already had the built-in 4-player. So yeah.
Okay.
So I know it's got split player. I think.
Yeah, the split multiplayer split screen.
Yeah, split screen. Yep. So.
Okay.
You just put that.
My side. I was trying to wrap up. I've only got a few more I'm looking for on my N64 wish list, but Hybrid Heaven's one of them. 3D action game by Konami.
Another game I have to pick up still myself.
Yeah.
He looks so serious.
Yeah, I mean, just when I was going through the library, saw some trailers, looked interesting, so figured I'd pick it up. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to talk about that one.
Not a lot of history on that one.
Not a lot of history on that one compared to some
Not
of
a
the other
lot.
ones.
Not much of a story.
So next would be GameCube, which I think is me again.
Yep, that's you.
I think the rest is me until we.
I think the only thing I got is
Yeah.
Game Boy Color after
Yeah.
that. So.
So for me, I'm jumping on the Mario Golf train with the new Switch one coming out. So that was my time to pick up Mario Golf Toadstool Tour
Yep.
for GameCube.
There's a tongue twister for you, kids.
Yeah. I mean, I picked that up when I got most of my GameCube games when GameStop was getting rid of their stock. So.
Yep, I wasn't. But it does. I just double checking. It does have the link to the Game Boy Advance. I did pick up my copy of Mario Golf Advance. So
that's what I should have looked for, the Mario Golf Advance.
Oh, I wish you would have told me. I saw it a couple places.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was thinking myself, so
Yeah.
I'm glad I picked this one up. But finally, as I kind of alluded to earlier, I'm a big Bomberman fan. So
You think?
I picked up Bomberman Land for the Wii. So, it's a more party minigame focused Bomberman, but it's also got Bomberman in it. So,
I think that was one of the ones I'm missing because I know I've got one of them. I got Jitters. No, that's GameCube again.
yeah, Jitters and Generation Run.
Yeah.
Bomberman Land. This I think was the only physical release on the Wii.
Yeah, I think that was.
And at that point, like most of the Bomberman games started going digital only. And with some like Act Zero, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be fun mix of party games and Bomberman combat. So that'll be something. Who knows where it'll up. All right, so why don't we do handholds next?
Yep. Yeah, very good Game Boy.
Yeah. So I'll move it out to make the camera look a little bit easier. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Back from the Sewers.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is basically an update to the previous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for the Game Boy, which was a 2D side-scroller.
Yep.
It was fairly simple, but it had a lot of noteworthy people working behind it, like the composer for Symphony of the Night, because they had to start somewhere. So this kind of continues the trend of surprisingly good TMNT games. Played a little bit of it. Could probably go through it later this week. And I'm looking forward to get the third game, because the third game is actually kind of an early Metroidvania, where you play as Mikey, you get going through and then finding and rescuing the rest of the turtles before you go and defeat Shredder. So, yeah, really looking forward to that.
This is almost a Mikey lead game then.
The third one is.
Okay.
And he's on the cover. But this one is more of a traditional, like, choose which turtle you want to play, go through, beat everyone up. But it's got some good sprite sizes for the Game Boy Color.
How are the weapons on each turtle? Because I know with a complaint with some of the turtle games is the weapon reaches on certain characters are so short it puts you in danger of getting hit and messing up.
It depends on the game.
Yeah, it depends on the
I'm talking about that one specifically.
This one specifically, I didn't play with a lot of the different characters, so I don't know specifically how. But yeah, like I know in the previous game that I played through fully, they kind of balanced it because they gave them shurikens as a crouching attack.
Okay.
So everyone kind of got the range. But yeah, you still want to stick with like a Leo Donnie character for that extra little range.
Okay. Who's your favorite?
Favorite's always been Raphael.
Fair.
Fair. Donatello's my second. Donatello's my second. I've always liked the red color dudes or the genius guys.
Yeah.
In most of the stuff I used to watch as a kid. Yeah.
Mikey's definitely the funnest character. Whether it's going off the cartoon series or the dialogue in the games, but. I was drawn to Leo as a kid because the color blue was my favorite, but overall, as I grow up, it's Raph. It's got to be Raph.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Our next one.
I didn't quite pick this up, but Jeebus made the mistake like I did when I bought Quake there, and you bought a duplicate game you already had for Game Boy Color. So
I didn't have a Game Boy Color. I got this one for N64, but I was looking for the Game Boy Advance one. I got them mixed up.
Cruisin' Exotica.
Yep, Cruisin' Exotica. So I've got another game to the Cruisin' series there.
Game Boy Advanced.
Early Christmas present.
Yep.
Aww.
At least Navidad.
Aww.
Well, I've got yours downstairs. I got to get it off the kitchen counter there. I'm pretty sure it's down there.
Right. I got a trio of Game Boy Advance titles.
Yep.
So I got Justice League Heroes: The Flash to start with. There's also going to be a bit of a trend in a couple of the games here. This is actually done by WayForward, best known now for doing Shantae and River City Girls. But back in the day, the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance era, they would take a lot of licensed games and make, most of the time at least alright, if not pretty good games out of them. Like there are some Sabrina games that are like surprisingly good for at least in terms of like the animation.
I actually did see that Wendy Witch game.
Yeah,
that was super expensive.
Yeah,
though.
because again, everyone because of their reputation after Shantae, they're like,
yeah,
oh, we got to take a look at what else they've done.
Yeah.
But just like Here's the Flash is one of those. I played a little bit. They actually have a mode where you race Superman, and like you have to go through and beat up guys to gain speed over him, and then there's some dialogue that plays. So it was kind of fun. I'm looking forward to
so it's based off the animated episode where they did the race
well,
around the world.
The race around the world is based off an old comic too. Like that's been something between the Flash and Superman for decades.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Second game again. Trend of way forward games. Sigma Star Saga, which is a hybrid top-down action / horizontal shooter. And the top-down action also has RPG elements because, like, the whole point is, like, you power yourself up to power up your ship, which gives it more weapons and health and speed for the shooter sections. And then it's got a mix of different things. I played a little bit, but I've read a lot of stuff on, like, Hardcore Gaming 101 and seen some videos on it. It looked really cool. And again, WayForward's a fairly good developer.
Yeah, it's still surprised you didn't get the box version of that. Just because
I didn't. Oh, I think we saw the box version after I picked up the.
Picked it up, yeah.
As I'm not as huge into collecting stuff in box, which I like to open and play.
With the manual. Yeah, it would come with the manual.
But yeah. I'll hunt that down at some point.
Yeah.
And the third, Disney's Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. I forgot what the subtitle was on that one because.
Oh, okay. They continued. So this is the after story.
Yes,
the before story.
Is
the Pumpkin King.
Yeah, I think this one might be the prequel then.
The prequel, yeah. This is the prequel.
And then it's the PS2 game's the sequel. Whereas the sequel plays more like Devil May Cry. This one I think is just a side scroller, but it's developed by Tosei, who Shadow develops a lot of. Stuff for a lot of developers in the Starkey series. That was their claim to fame. But they're another one where it's like you can kind of flip a coin on the quality. But early stuff I've seen from this has been fairly solid.
This one here, I want to point out, like the camera's not focusing on any of the titles here because they're just too small for it.
Yep.
But the artwork, as you can see, like. I'm really a fan of this. It's almost Ghost Rider-esque or maybe Green Goblin-esque a little bit.
From the This Is Halloween songs. Where he sets his head on fire with a pumpkin and jumps in the lake.
That was a cool take on it. I'm very glad they chose that artwork for it. It makes it stand out, to me anyway.
You didn't have any DS games, did you?
No.
Okay, well, I guess it's still my turn.
Yep.
As you see, I may have spent
he bought a little bit more.
I know.
I bought bulkier stuff. He bought more quantity.
I'm just giving him a hard time.
So, first DS game I picked up, Glory of Heracles. If anyone playing through like Spirit Mode on Super Smash Bros. Will probably recognize a couple of characters from this series, but it's been a long-running JRPG series from Japan that's been on a bunch of Nintendo systems. This is the only one we got. But it already earns points when it talks about Greek mythology and it calls itself Heracles, which is,
Oh, it's Hercules. Get it right.
No. Hercules is his Roman name. Heracles is the Greek name. You get it right.
I always get those two, like, not specifically those two confused, but Greek and Roman, like, which one's which. I always get confused.
Yeah.
But,
it's a turn-based RPG. I haven't played any of this yet, but again, it's one that I remember I used to work at a GameStop, and it always kind of caught my eye, so I figured I saw it for a decent price and thought, why not? And personally, I sometimes like to play something, but like don't want to get too in-depth, so I usually pick up some easy games based on licenses that I like, and I'm a fan of the Phineas and Ferb cartoon. So I picked up Phineas and Ferb and Phineas and Ferb Ride Again. They're fairly straightforward, simple platformers. Rides Again, I think, gives you different tools and stuff to explore around, find stuff. As I said, nothing crazy, but they were both incredibly cheap, and I was like, why not? I could use something for those long days at work, then get off, you want to just do something for like an hour, and that works.
Yeah,
Did you pick up 3DS then as well?
No.
Okay.
That's the end of my Nintendo stuff. So I think we'll move on to Sega next.
Yep.
I'll let you get started since you got.
All right.
I've got
Cool.
a hog to.
Cool. Yep. So, the convention there, like you said, Jeebus and I were walking through the museum area, and one of the Sega Master Systems had that joystick there.
Yeah. So
the
take it out
Master
or no?
System control stick. Yeah, you get to go ahead and take it out.
Yeah. So this was connected to a.
I need to clean it up a bit, but yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, it was connected to a Space Harrier machine.
Yep. But I think this was the last controller I was actually missing for my Sega Master System, because I've got the phaser gun, I've got the regular controller, I've got the sports pad with the trackball. and so this was the last controller I needed, and one guy had it there. It's a little stiff, like it sounds like, but it just probably needs to be cleaned up. It's
the buttons are definitely stiff.
Yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up. It looks like it's just been dirty and sitting there for a while. As you can see, there's tape all over the cord and everything.
Yep.
But yeah, most definitely just needs to be cleaned up. But I think once I clean it up, it'll be good as new.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Cool find.
But yeah, so another Sega Master System controller off the list there.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I need now is the rapid fire adapter for that controller, and we're good to go. But yeah, I've got a stack of Sega Master System games here that were on my list.
Press button.
Plus a button.
Another you never forget your first, but
Yep.
Sega Master System.
Yep.
You can't have two firsts, Sean.
I can multiple firsts.
No, you can't. What are you, born again?
Yeah, so I got Aztec Adventure there.
The Mega cartridge.
Yeah.
They are all Mega cartridges.
Yeah, they're all Mega
Yeah,
cartridges.
I know.
But it's another, trying to complete some of my Sega Master System games there. I believe that one's a side-scroller.
It's
Probably
like a
is.
Top down.
It's this type of cartridge.
Yeah, those cartridges. Yep. Comes
Okay.
with the manual and everything.
That's
so
what makes
like,
it Mega.
Yeah. Yeah, but you gotta love Sega though, because they're hard cases versus Nintendo's cardboard cases.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best cases for cartridges ever.
Yep.
And I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
And other people have said it too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad the Evercade, when they have their cartridge, the cases are solid like these are.
Nice.
Nice. Then I picked up Afterburner there because it was put on the Sega Master System after it was on the arcade there. I think that was the closest port to the actual arcade version.
So there were two different arcade versions. There was Afterburner, and then there was Revision later. That other revision is often referenced as Afterburner 2. If you click on the Sega Genesis, you'll see that there. But that's the one that's used for most ports. So like Afterburner Complete for 32X, that uses Afterburner 2. If you have the Afterburner on any of like the Sega Ages collection, it's typically Afterburner 2. But this is the only port that's closest to the initial arcade release.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yep.
You got all that from me.
Yeah, I did. I got it from you like a while ago because I was looking at that Afterburner when Double Jump put that sale on, and then I think you got it before I did. Yeah, I was like Yeah. But I found it here, so yeah, that makes up for it. So I also got my Missile Defense 3D, another one I'm looking there for. I think actually, you know what? There is one other accessory I'm missing. The 3D glasses. The hardest item I'm probably going to be to get for my Sega Master System. But I did see the guy that I bought the control stick from. He did actually have the adapter for the 3D glasses, just not the 3D glasses. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to have to probably piece it together.
Are the white grid cases natural to the Master System? Or is that the original case? Because I'm used to the Genesis where they had more artwork on it.
Well, so early Genesis actually did have that. The white cases like that.
Okay.
No, it was a black grid.
It was a black grid. Yeah, you're right. Black grid. So like the first Sonic, I think, had the black grid on Genesis. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I've got an example of one right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, Bert, you want to grab that Toe Jam Arrow? So,
yes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I do remember those.
Yeah. Yep. So that was yep.
Yeah.
And then eventually
they did the
a lot less
like
bleak with the white. Yeah.
They also had, I think, professional artists because like you look at the Wonder Boy case is like infamous for just bad box art because it's the white grid and like a really crude drawing of just like a kid wrestling with an axe.
Yeah.
And it's like it is like I'm looking at it, like I know what's in here is a classic, but like looking at the box and
needs better artists.
Kind of like in this game. So I got a couple Master System games myself. The first one I'll show off is Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah, Jubas got to that before I could.
That's I've got a few more.
I'm surprised none of us got Montezuma's Revenge from all the eating we did.
Yeah, right. Good eats out there.
Montezuma's Revenge featuring Panama Joe. Obviously Panama Joe. He was in Montezuma's Revenge. He was in Montezuma's Return, and so as you can see, the game is
and he ran out of steam.
He couldn't recall.
Which you can see, like they on the cartridge itself, they actually Parker Brothers decided to kind of do its own thing because a lot of the other ones.
You might want to get that frame a little bit there. Yeah.
So the card.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's a white card. Okay.
Yeah, it's a white card. It doesn't have
instead of the red.
The red of the there are some that do blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the blue ones are usually European or Australian, I believe.
That's what I was thinking, but
Yeah.
no, it's just certain releases.
Okay.
But anyway,
Parker Brothers.
Yeah, so this game's kind of a side-scrolling Tomb Raider, before Tomb Raider. I've seen Hardcore Gaming 101 calls them Indiana clones, because that's basically what they are. But like that's it's 11 different levels, a bunch of different tombs to explore through. I played a little bit of this again. It was kind of fun. Glad I picked it up. So then the second one, again, kind of continuing the trend of 3D games, is Space Harrier 3D. So this is not just a port of the original Space Harrier with the 3D SEGA scope. This is actually a new game designed specifically to work with the 3D glasses. So if you don't have them, it looks kind of fuzzy. But if you have a 3DS, you can actually play this version of this game. It was released with a lot of the other Sega 3D games that are available digital only. And then there was a compilation. There's one compilation released in the US. It does not include this, but there was one that, two more that I think that were released in Japan. One of them does have Space Harrier 3D. That's probably how I'll end up playing through this totally, but in terms of adding to my collection, I can say I've got all the Space Harrier games.
Nice.
Do you have any?
I've got a Dreamcast.
Okay, so I'll do Genesis next.
Yep.
So I decided to pick up
There you go, Bird.
Predator 2.
I know it's on my list.
Yeah. Top-down game. You play as Danny Glover, fighting a mix of gangsters and predators.
Yep.
Looked like a lot of fun. One of the other YouTubers I follow, SNES Drunk, was playing through it. Looked a lot of fun. So yeah, figured give it a shot. So going through, next would be Sega CD. Dig and find it.
Oh, here.
Oh, that's right. I'm over here.
I got you.
Yeah. So
I'll do this one first.
yeah.
All right.
So this one is Age 3 Thunderstrike. So this is a cockpit view helicopter game, similar in tone and like to the Genesis EA Strike games, like Urban Strike, Jungle Strike. Thunderstrike is not done by them. The original game was actually done by Core, who is a UK development studio, so a lot of their early stuff was for UK PCs. But then this port was made by JVC, and I think Core did the other two games that came after this, because there was Thunderstrike, there was Thunderstrike 2 for PS1, and then there was Thunderstrike Operation Phoenix for PS2. Again, this is cockpit view, helicopter attack, and I really like flight sims and stuff like that, so we're gonna pick that up. That is a Sega CD game that's not like horribly expensive, so that's always fun to find. And the Sega Saturn game I picked up, one of the Sega Saturn games I picked up, I should say, is Fighters Mega Mix.
So, you want to make a trade? I'm missing the cover.
Oh, that's a hard bargain.
No.
But, I think I'm gonna have to decline.
I'll trade you the cover for the game.
So this was a
And
mix
this cover suddenly
of
disappeared.
A lot of people were trying to do that. They at the con.
trying to get.
I
the
saw a lot of
manuals.
people trying to get the games and just leaving the cases, or trying to get manuals
Oh, jeez.
because they already had the game in the case, and
Yeah.
like sellers were just like, I'd rather sell them together. But a lot of people were trying to do that
Yeah,
at the
there
con
was-
this year.
There was definitely a lot of negotiating going on, which is fine. That's good. But some of the things, at least as not a big collector as like Vishon and Jeeves, I found a bit weird, because I'm like, okay, so what? You already have the cover. You just want the game. Well, just get it anyway, and now you have an extra cover. Who cares?
Yeah, or just sell it. Yeah, like people are willing to buy some of these things.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm missing the manual for my Fighters Mega Mix.
I missed mine from Jim.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, this game, it's a hybrid of Virtua Fighter and Fighting Vipers, along with some other secret characters. Funnily enough, a couple of reasons I want to get this game is I'm also a huge Sonic fan. Gee, I wonder if that came across.
No, not at all.
No. But Sonic the Fighters, the new characters they had there, Bean the Dynamite and Bark the Polar Bear, appear as secret characters in this game. You can also play as the Hornet from the Daytona series, so you can play as a fighting car.
The car.
Yes.
The car.
So that seems like a huge fun. And I started getting into was it Virtua Fighter 5?
Yeah, we
as,
started.
yeah.
I got it on Dreamcast there. I think we picked it up when we went to one of the stores in Chicago. What is that? Exchange?
Game Exchange.
Game Exchange.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, and I'll look into picking stuff up. This next game, import game, again, big Bomberman fan.
Oh, wouldn't you go figure there?
Saturn Bomberman Fight. So that is a sequel to Saturn Bomberman, which is a fairly expensive game in the West. I should know. But
I should know.
okay. I'm just Anyway,
I'm just messing with you.
I know. So what's kind of unique about this is you can kind of take a look at the back. Is that they tried to experiment with doing Bomberman in 3D around this time. So here you've got like an isometric view, and they gave characters health bars. So we haven't done any multiplayer on this yet, but I was looking at the back, and it's like it's interesting because there are a couple games like this, like Bomberman World for PS1, where they do kind of like an ice. Well, that one's it's not quite isometric, but it's like it's at an angle, and they do like digitized 3D graphics. Like they tried to do different ways of making Bomberman 3D before you get to stuff like Super Bomberman R or like the N64 games. So again, just interesting experiment. Glad to have that in my collection. And
go ahead with your Dreamcast.
Okay,
yeah, go.
I'm on a roll, so I'm just like I may as well just like talk myself hoarse.
You'll be fine.
Moving on to Dreamcast, I ended up picking up Fire Pro Wrestling D.
This one's a little beat up.
A little beat up, but yeah. So Fire Pro Wrestling has been a long-running wrestling series in Japan ever since the old PC Engine. We got a few games over here, a couple for the Game Boy Advance, one for the PS2. I think the biggest known one is Fire Pro Wrestling World for PS4, because it had a lot of actual New Japan Pro Wrestling characters who are now in AEW, like Kenny Omega, showing up in there. But this is the Dreamcast version. It's got a huge manual. Like that was one of the biggest things I was surprised about picking this up, is that the manual is like 70 pages long. But Fire Pro Wrestling games
that is a thick manual.
Yeah,
yeah.
Fire Pro Wrestling games are fairly complex in terms of their control structure, because like the you got your movement controls, but then when you enter a grapple, then like the grapple controls are a little bit unique as well. So like there are a lot of different things you can do, and a lot of these games also started, I think around this era, started doing like the Create a Wrestler. So then adding moves and customizing different clothing parts. So there's a lot to go over in this game. I don't know of anything that slipped off.
That case is really beat up.
Yeah, it's a little beat up, but everything else was in fairly decent condition. So I can always throw a different cover on this.
Yeah, it's a jewel case, so
yeah.
I'm sure we've got some lying around.
Yeah, aside, I don't know of anything specifically on this version that's different, but I'm eager to find out because I've got a bunch of the other Fire Pro Wrestling games. Right, you can talk now.
yeah. So I picked up a Dreamcast game as well. It's a newer game, but it's also another game that's off PC Engine or the PCFX. It's FM Yuki. It's a side-scrolling platformer. Another game series we didn't really get in the US, but it was really popular in Japan there. And so when I found out they were putting it back out, I missed my chance to get it online with the pre-orders. And while at Midwest Gaming Classic there was a store selling brand new copies. I was like, I will take a copy. Because, this is one of those older games, kind of like the Cotton series and a couple other things that we didn't really get, or if we did get it, it was just really hard to find.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, cool stuff.
Definitely.
All right. If you want to get started on PS1, because I've got a few PS1s.
Yep. So for PS1 here, I picked up one game. It is the Need for Speed Road and Track. Road and Track is, of course, a magazine company. They cover a lot of sports cars, and
that's on my list.
yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Need for Speed or racing games. AJ is also a big fan of those as well. So
the later Need for Speed games are much better. We're talking like Hot Pursuit, even Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think Hot Pursuit was their key series.
It's an early game, and it was one of the ones I was missing out of my stack. So I figure why not pick it up.
Yeah. And actually, if this is a magazine, this Road and Track thing, I should look into that for my dad, because he loves just looking at cars.
Oh yeah, no, they do because Road and Track is a good magazine there. They go over the specs and stuff. Yeah, but yeah.
Get in frame.
I got a few pickups for PS1. First up, Die Hard Trilogy 2. So Die Hard Trilogy 1 was an interesting compilation of 3 different gameplay styles that they used one for each game. So Die Hard 1 was a top-down shooter where you were scaling all the different floors in Nakatomi building. Die Hard 2 was a gallery rail shooter where you go through the airport that the movie takes place in and you take out the terrorists. and Die Hard 3 was a driving game, and where you end up going around. You have to do certain tasks within a certain amount of time, which is how the beginning of the movie plays out. So I decided to pick up Die Hard Trilogy 2, which is all new, original story, but they kind of share the same split gameplay style. So you have like a third person behind the back shooter, you have a driving section, and then you have another shooting section. I'm not sure if their sections are full on games, but they're splitting it up, and you might see that on this channel come close to Christmas, because Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yippee-ki-yay, John McClane is back.
Yep.
They should have just went for it. They should have just put Yippee-ki-yay motherfucker right on it.
Yeah.
They should have just went for it.
It's right at them.
They should have.
Another game that's a blast from my past that I was a little disappointed when I traded off many years ago, but X-Men Mutant Academy. Big X-Men. I'm a big everything fan, but I was specifically a big X-Men fan, especially when I was younger.
Careful with everything.
Yeah. But yeah, it came out right before the movie, so they tried to publicize like, oh, you can use the movie costumes for a lot of guys. Most of the characters in there are movie characters, but it also had Gambit and Beast, who are two of my favorite X-Men as well. So it also kind of had movie-fied costumes for them. But yeah, it had a lot of style. The gameplay was fairly solid, fairly simple, but still fairly solid. And you can tell that they played like some of the Marvel vs. Capcom as well, because some of like Cyclops' moveset matches the moveset he had in that game, and some with like Wolverine as well.
Who were the voices? Were they cartoon, like from the 90s X-Men voices? Were they the movie characters or the movie actors?
Yeah, it wasn't the movie actors. I don't know if they got anyone from the cartoon to do it, because this was a few years after the cartoon was over. I don't know. I know at some point they had the actors. No, it was the Capcom games that they did the voices for, because they were recording something else in this vicinity. So a lot of the voice lines for all the old Marvel vs. Capcom games were done by those voice actors.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know about this one offhand. And the third game I picked up is Wild 9.
The artwork on this one's pretty crazy too.
Yeah.
We're gonna torture your enemies. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's a 2.5D action game. Use like a lightning gun to kind of tether your enemies and throw them around. The main thing is like it's developed by Shiny Entertainment, which is the same group that did Earthworm Jim. Again, big fan of Earthworm Jim when I was younger.
Earthworm Jim was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So having played through all those
Game Boy ones.
Yeah. So now I've just been looking for other things they've done. Played through MDK. MDK was pretty fun. So now I've got Wild 9 to give a shot.
Nice.
Yep.
PS2?
Yep. Do you have PS2?
I do have PS2.
Okay. I was like, I could use
Little bit of a break, eh?
Yep. Oh, come on. PS2 was not your first. PS2 was not your first.
You know what? We might as well just get all of them out of the way.
Get them out of the way.
Just get all of them out of the way.
Xbox
just
wasn't
get all
your
of them out
first.
of the way.
Sega Genesis wasn't your first.
Yep.
N64 wasn't your first.
I would hope N64 was not your first.
No, it was Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was my first, but they didn't have a button for
specified
that.
first of what?
Yeah, well,
First
exactly.
in life? Or first of the day?
Technically,
your
Atari
first
2600, but so the first booth when we got in the vendor's room had these two games there. I was Grandia 2, and then so once again I like playing JRPGs. Like I play them a lot. I played through a lot of the Phantasy Star stuff and just Breath of Fire 2, just things like that. And I just love playing that. Chrono Trigger, and so just kind of just getting every JRPG I can get and just playing through those. And it's been a slow run, but I try to get through them as quickly as possible, or at least I start them.
Or you can play in Western?
Yeah, I can. This Grandia 3 here I sniped from Jeebus. Jeebus was looking at it, and I decided to get it right away.
I just jumped on it.
Yeah, I just jumped on it. I was like, if I don't get it now, I'm not going to see it again.
Like Yogi Bear in a picnic basket, man. He just, hey, boo-boo.
Yeah, so now the only Grandia game I believe I'm missing is Extreme.
And the one on the Game Boy.
Oh, yeah, the Game Boy, yeah.
Which is only in Japan, but there's an English patch.
Yeah.
I played through Grandia 1 on the remastered version. I got a limited run physical copy of
I've
1
got
and
that
2,
as well. Yeah,
which is why I was going to look for 3 in Extreme. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But I did see Extreme, but Extreme was a little overpriced too.
Yeah, it was a little pricey.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the two PS2 titles that I picked up. So.
So my turn.
I gotta stop getting in frames. There we go.
So first one I picked up is the Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2. Last one I needed out of the Legacy of Kain series.
Very popular series in general.
It's kind of called. It's unfortunately not popular enough to actually get another game since the Defiance on PS2.
So
I remember a lot of people talking about Legacy of Kain when Soul Reaver came out.
So that's where this gets interesting. So the actual guy that created this,
oh, you're talking about the original Blood Omen, or you're talking about
the Blood Omen. So he actually created another game, and when he's the one that does the stories for all of these games.
Well, no, because the original games were done by the original game was done by Silicon Knights. Blood
Oh
Omen.
yeah, Silicon Knights. Yeah,
but
so because
Crystal Dynamics published it, and they fought over the rights for it. Crystal Dynamics kept it, and then Crystal Dynamics developed Blood Omen 2, the Soul Reaver series, and Defiance.
Yeah, but the guy, the owner there, he wants to do a third one, but because things weren't great and the legal ramifications between...
it's not legal at this point. It's because Square Enix owns Crystal Dynamics, and they keep making them do other things. Yeah, they were pulled off of pre-work on the Legacy of Kain series to do the Tomb Raider reboots for the PS3 era. The Underworld?
Underworld.
Legend. So at that point, it's like they couldn't do... because Crystal Dynamics did a ton of stuff in the PS1, PS2 era, but the game development was a lot easier then, so it was easier to split them up, and that's why when Square Enix bought everything, like Matt McMuscles has a whole video about Dark Sun, I think was
so.
There's a Legacy of Kain video that was in development, and most of it got axed because they couldn't figure out a way of doing it, and they wanted to make it a reboot and stuff like that.
Yeah, and because they wanted to do the reboot, I think they couldn't do stuff.
It was all just to kind of just poor timing, and then them getting bought. Let me hold on. Take the sticker off.
Oh, you taking another one off? I thought you did that already.
And then second game I picked up, War of the Monsters, which is a kaiju style like 3D fighting game essentially. It's kind of, from what I've seen, it's kind of similar to like the Godzilla games that came out in this era, but with a whole bunch of royalty-free original monsters. Original in quotes. But looks like a lot of fun. Looks like the kind of thing I can bring over and we can play on stream.
Oh yeah,
this would be a fun multiplayer game.
Friday night.
Yep, this would be a fun one.
Alright, and you got a PS3?
Yep, I got a PS3, so I got Never Dead there.
Shit, I thought you would have that game on.
No, I did not. So I was looking for that game because I know it kind of goes along with the Killer 7 or what was the other one after Killer 7?
Something is Dead.
Yeah, Something is Dead.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it kind of goes along.
No, this is developed by Rebellion, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's developed, but I mean, it's got the same kind of art style. So when I saw that, I was like, that's what it kind of reminded me of. So I was like, I'll pick it up. And of course, the theme song for that game right there is done by Megadeth, so you can't go wrong.
That's actually I did not know that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it says it right there on the back of the case. Actually, it says the theme song done by Megadeth in the credit.
Down here in the fine print.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, there it is, right here.
Yep, right there.
Let me see if I can. I don't think the camera will focus in on that, but you could tell that that's the Megadeth name right there.
Yep.
That's nice. I did not know that. That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Megadeth is a fantastic
and it's just a run and gun game, kind of like Devil May Cry, kind of a little bit. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to try that out because that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like those style games.
Yep. So yeah, that's the one PS3 game I got.
Yep. I got a couple PSP games and a video game, and I think that's gonna wrap us up. Final. Outside of some accessories.
Yeah. So
Sengoku Basara. It's a series we haven't had a whole lot here in the U.S., but it's Capcom's version of Dynasty Warriors. Samurai Warriors, more specifically. Sengoku being the period of time when, Japan was kind of split up, and they had their own factions, but this game kind of reimagines them and says, what if they were all handsome boys and they all try to kill each other Devil May Cry style?
I mean, they weren't already.
I mean, who knows? Sengoku Basara Battle Heroes. This, I believe, is a spin-off of the second game. Because
it works because when people asked us, I'll talk about that in a bit.
So it's got Masamune Date and Yukimura Sanada on the cover. If you recognize some of the stuff, you either played Sengoku Basara or you see Oda Nobunaga appear and recognize him as the guy on the cover of Devil Kings, because Devil Kings was Devil Kings was actually the Americanized version of the very first Sengoku Basara game. They thought marketing it as what looks like a Devil May Cry knockoff would get them more sales than showing it off like a Samurai Warriors.
I'm glad I got Double Kings when I did, because the price on that game now is ridiculous.
I guess everyone's figuring that out then.
Yeah.
Because Sengoku Basara, if you played the PS3 or the Wii game, is actually pretty good. So I've been going back and collecting the series. And the other game I got is Chronicle Heroes, which looks like it's a spin-off of the third game.
Yeah,
the one we actually got.
Yeah.
Just run around, hack and slash, gameplay just on the PSP. I think
Those are always fun.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the Orochi games.
These two guys look like Scorpion and Sub-Zero on there.
That's basically what they are for their franchise. Neither one of them is the one that's is like the Liu Kang. Like he's pretty much the Liu Kang of the series because he's the Tokugawa Ieyasu.
He's talking about this guy.
He's the one that becomes the that unites Japan.
Okay.
So it's like if he's the Liu Kang, they are the Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And Masamune Date is also voiced by the same guy that does Orochimaru Zoro in One Piece, so that's always awesome. And the last game pickup I've got is Little Big Planet Vita, one of the few Vita games I was looking for. It's also the last Little Big Planet game I was looking for, because now I've got the entire series on that, including Sackboy for PS5 as soon as I get a PS5.
How many Little Big Planets were there?
So there was 1 through 3 on the PS3. There was the 1 and 2 were PS3, as well as Little Big Planet Karting. Little Big Planet 3 was on PS4, and then there was Little Big Planet Vita and Little Big Planet for PSP.
PSP, yeah.
Okay.
And then on 4 and 5 they did Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Oh, so they changed Little Big Planet to Sackboy then?
Yeah.
They changed the focus because the Sackboy game, if I remember correctly, and you guys were just playing it, plug. It's more of just a straightforward platformer, whereas Little Big Planet was always they had a bunch of created levels, but they also wanted to push the level creation aspect of it as well. So the idea was that you play levels from people all over the world and everything, whereas I think they don't have that implemented for Sackboy. I imagine they probably didn't have enough time if they wanted to, but they still wanted to kind of use the character and spin it off. There's also, I think, a digital-only PS3 game. I can't remember the title of it off the top of my head, but I've got it written down somewhere.
Okay.
I think I'm exhausted now.
Yeah, and then a couple pieces of hardware here I got.
I got
some. So I picked up another PSP 3000 here. Unfortunately, my PSP 3000 no longer does video out, so I had to buy a new one. Picked that one up for fairly cheap. The only thing it's missing is the battery, but other than that, it's pretty good here. And then Jibiska helped me find this here. It's $1 pickup there out of one of the bins. It's a half of it DS Lite. I'm probably gonna do when I get around to it. I'll probably have to do a mod video on that, turning it into a Game Boy Macro or something. But yeah, we'll see what I do with that.
For $1, it's not bad. The only thing I can see, it's got a pretty nice gash in the screen.
Yeah, it's got a nice gash, but that'll be replaced once because with the Game Boy Macro, it replaces the top cover.
Yeah.
And then I also, when we were streaming around there today, picked up this guy.
Oh, your little name tag?
Yeah, my little name tag.
This is pretty cool. He's been wearing it throughout the video, but this is so people can see it. This is fully programmable too.
Yeah, so I was wearing that today in the vendor's room, and so people saw me with the GoPro and then started asking what our name was, and all I have to do is point to the scrolling text there and just be like, "Hey, Geeks on the Side YouTube." So we got a couple subscribers.
Yeah, a few people watching us. So
thank you for this vendor because that was cool.
Thank you for that vendor. Yeah.
Yep. And thank you to those who subscribed to us when we talked to them there. Yeah. No, I mean, it was great talking to these people.
You want to talk about those PC guys? You got their card, right?
Yes, I do. Well, I want to actually, I'm going to save that for a different video because I want to check them out first.
Okay, cool.
But
at least give them a shout out, at least.
Yeah.
Let
me pull the card. Pull the card.
I told them to give them a shout out on the channel. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, here we go. It looks like they're called Dark Fusion Systems. That's the name of the vendor, and that's the website there. But basically, they're making super portables, powerful PCs.
Micro cases. Yeah.
What's it?
They make micro cases.
Yes, little, very portable micro cases, and it looked really cool. And I was thinking, I'm like, a portable beef box wouldn't be a bad idea. So I'm going to check them out further because I want to see all the things that they're using there. They mentioned that they're working specifically with someone for the hardware design on the power supplies, so we can get like custom cabling, we can get coils, we can get colors,
like cables to go. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But so that was cool too. I'm gonna check them out further. But yeah, shout out to them. Those guys are really cool to meet and hang out with. We talked with them for a little bit.
Talked to them actually both Saturday and Sunday. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you walk by them, you say hi. You know, they remember you. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
Here, we'll go over my meager haul here. So, just put these on here. I've been rewatching the Robotech anime series because I just got the fresh new box set on Blu-ray that Funimation released. Was it Funimation?
I think it was Funimation.
Yeah, Funimation. So I wanted to pick up the Robotech games. They did. The only battle cry I found was for GameCube, and I don't have GameCube, so I just stuck with PS2. But I got Invasion here. Definitely nice graphics. I wanna check it out. I haven't checked out the gameplay in it yet, but it should be fun. Yeah, so that's going to be new for me.
Something tells me the online's not going to work though.
I'm not going to bother with online things. And then because I've been on a Castlevania kick lately, I got 2 Castlevania games. We got Portrait of Ruin for the DS and. Was it Aria of Sorrow? No, Dawn of Sorrow. Excuse me. Dawn of Sorrow.
In the weirdest case, I am glad I got my original print run because the Konami's best case is just it's like the Master System where
it's a picture of the case on the case.
Yes.
I find that funny. I don't care so much. I'm not doing this for collecting purposes. I'm just doing it to play the games because I enjoy them. I enjoy a lot of the Metroidvania games. But yeah, for a collector. I could see this is silly.
Oh no,
this is straight up silly. It's literally a case of the game, or a picture of the case. Yeah, that's straight up silly. Now, as I mentioned too, it is not just for video games at Midwest Gaming. It is primarily video games. That's their big thing. But they have a lot of regular board games too, tabletop games, pinball games, and so on. So, and in the spirit of tabletop. I'm a huge D&D nerd, so I got myself a nice little dice tower. Came with a set of dice. This is actually really cool, fully handcrafted. It's magnetic on the bottom, so I can also get a tray to go along with it. It was a separate purchase, though. Acrylic on the front. These pegs are set into the wood, so they won't come loose, even if like a heavy dice, like a metal dice, impacts them. It's pretty good craftsmanship, and I liked it, so I bought it. Supporting the independents.
Yeah, I saw the. He's got his name on the back there.
Yeah,
yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yep, and I don't remember what it stands for. I will look that up, and I will put that in the video
here. We can most definitely put that in the video link when we get this video edited and put up.
It's Nerd Nook. It's something Nerd Nook.
Okay.
So I got to find out what the O is for. So I will put that in the video here. But yeah, this is really good craftsmanship. I like it, and I look forward to using it in my D&D games and ventures. And again, he threw in a set of free dice because that's pretty cool. Any purchase over a certain amount, he threw them in. This is my favorite color scheme, a red and blue kind of blend and mix. And I like that. Got some squishy dice. I don't need to get all of them, but I got a full set. Totally squishy dice. Just felt like it. No reason. And then some X-Men cards. I'm not going to take them all out. There's a lot of cool cards in here.
X-Men Legends, the Legends cards.
94, the 95 flares. I used to.
I think so. I'll take a couple of them out because some of these are just really beautiful artwork, and I used to collect these a lot too.
I still have a couple of those. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a good one in here. There's a really cool, like, Imperial-looking Colossus in here. Colossus is one of my favorite guys.
Back when he was an acolyte.
Yep. But other than that, that's for me. This convention wasn't really for me. I just went along for the ride. It was for our 2 big collectors here because, as I put my arm in front of Jeebus.
It's just Jeebus.
This is our 2 big collectors here because they are the kings here, so to speak.
Driving force.
And I'm just the court jester.
That's all Vashon's. I don't have as much as he does, but I do have a decent amount.
You don't have it laid out like at your place either because you don't have the shelves.
Yeah, you don't
but
have the shelves.
Like you guys both have a lot in comparison.
They're fairly close. So I think you're what, 1,500 on like 12 something?
I'm 24.
Okay, no, you got like
I'm 2,400.
Yeah. Let me check my list here again. I think I'm up to.
I know, Burton's over here shaking his head like these people are crazy.
I said that years ago.
2433.
Okay, I'm a little bit over halfway.
Yeah, 2433.
All right, so how long has it taken you guys to actually collect all of these?
If we're counting my father's Atari is in my collection, so technically my collection goes past before I was born.
Well, let's start as when you received his Atari.
I was born.
Oh, okay. So you just okay.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Growing up, I had his Atari. I had a Texas Instruments computer. We had my uncle's NES, and then I guess I really started getting gaming more during the Game Boy Advance PS1 era. That's when I started getting the magazines and everything. But I've just listen, parts of my collection going back before I was born.
Okay.
So. My parents did all the crap for me because, I got a Super Nintendo as well as Demolition Man, what was that, Double Dragon 5 The Shadows Fall.
Oh, wow.
For one of my birthdays. I remember it. They hid it from me because they knew I was probably going to do, play video games, nonstop.
No.
So then when we finally moved out to where we live now, my cousins found it in our basement and we hooked it up. And from that on, it's just... I've been playing, Super Mario World, those 3 games, and it's slowly just growing my collection whenever I could. I'd ask my parents, I'm like, hey, can we pick up this game or that game? And then, so probably about 94 is when I started to slowly grow it, and then about high school time is when it, drastically started to grow, and after high school, when I got a job, and I could pay for everything.
Yeah, that helps.
It exploded. It exploded.
Oh, and it didn't help. We met in high school.
Yeah.
And then, after high school, I got that job at GameStop, so I was getting stuff.
Even at KB Toys, I would just give you money to get stuff. Right, yeah. So, even during high school, I'd be like, hey, Jeebus, you wanna give me that $99 GameCube? Or, hey, let's, you work for Walmart now. Hey, let's go to Sam's Club.
So much abuse of my employee discount.
Oh, you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did enjoy doing it. That's why I was disappointing when I got
that's kind of the point.
I'm going to make use of the connections I can.
If you don't use your employee discount, you're not doing it right.
I said that's kind of the point.
You would come to McDonald's when the DS came out just to make use of the Wi-Fi events. Yeah.
Oh, I did that a lot too.
Oh my god. So Jeebus would be there talking to me after his job and I'd be working. I'm like, alright, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Oh man. Yep.
Now, Burton, I know you have some games here. Are you a full-on collector, or
not as bad as these two?
Not as bad as these two.
Not as bad as these two.
Okay.
Not as in depth.
Not as in depth. Yeah.
No, it's actually kind of bad.
When did you start?
It wasn't until after high school.
When till after high school?
I mean, you
right,
had stuff before
I had
that.
stuff before that, but I didn't thoroughly start till after high school.
Yeah. What year is after high school for you?
Maybe till what time? When I meet you? Was it 2008?
Yeah, 2008. But that was... Dude, Jeebus and I had been going to junior college for a while there because we couldn't figure out our focus.
Then we found it.
Well, you found your focus, but you had other things going on, and then you kind of stopped going for a while, and then you started going back.
Well, that's when I got the focus after I got the GameStop.
Yeah, but me, I just didn't have a focus because I tried to go for some computer engineering or computer engineering, but the junior college didn't have it. So I was just taking random classes and just trying to pass whatever I could,
and that's when they did the game design degree. We were talking about it, and it was like, okay, this is what I'm going back to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the.
And then they brought up the game design courses, and then as soon as they brought up the game design courses, okay, I've got to focus now. And just kind of focused on that.
That's when I started. That's when I actually got focused.
So I mean, we saw you guys there in the cafeteria because I think by that time, I think you guys started showing up. Yeah, about 07, 08. I want to say around there. Because I think Jeebus and I had already been at junior college for a while there.
I didn't attend your junior college. I was at a different place.
Yeah, we knew you through high school.
Yeah.
I knew you since middle school, I think. Because I was friends with Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you lived right across from Mike and where I get off the bus. So my friend Mike, I would hang out with him. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's my neighbor Andrew over there." And I'm like, okay.
Yep. And I talked to you a lot more than I talked to him.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many people.
I might have met AJ in middle school then, because Charlie and Jacob I met through middle school.
Yes.
And I would go over to their place to hang out, so I knew Mike through that too.
Right.
So because Mike would come over there sometimes too.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Yeah. So
this is definitely a neighborhood crew.
Yeah.
We all live in the same neighborhood.
Not anymore. Why didn't you guys follow me?
Because you moved out to the north
That's your
side.
fault.
We have nothing to do up there.
Yeah.
Like, for our job is here locally.
Yeah,
your job
AJ and I work locally. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry that you had to move out to Mount Prospect to be closer to your office, but way north, way north.
Yep.
Yep. Well, all right, folks.
Well, you got tired of the drive, though. I know the drive was killing you there.
Yeah, well, that is a long drive.
I'm a happy medium now. I'm a happy medium between my office and coming back here.
It's
why I'm not here as often.
Because I know you were getting angry when trying to drive back to your mom's place, and then, you know, like, just the exhaustion, too, because of the drive. Because you had to get up early just to beat the traffic and everything.
And that's why I'm not on camera as much, because I get off at 6, so I have to drive out. So sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have the day off, and then I come here early. So
and that's okay.
I might have to try and figure out how to, like, splice the stream in. Like, there's a way to do it where we can get video feed from you from your house. To probably pop in.
I'm sure we can figure
this
that
is the internet connection would have to be stable enough to do that.
Well, we'd have to probably share it through Discord or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we could always just find other ways of doing stuff online, too.
Yeah, that too.
But that's okay that you're not on camera as much, because we're going to start up a video series for you. And why don't we go into that?
If we want to go into it, I guess it means a little commit to it. So
something, that way we can hold you to it. It's
on camera.
Yeah, it's on camera.
So again, as I mentioned with the
series, don't forget
No, this is a thing.
I want to do more like hardware stuff. So like with that controller I bought with like the Aqua Shift, I kind of want to go over that, open it up, do stuff. I kind of want to do hardware stuff because that's my niche, and Jeebus's niche is you know. Games and software.
Games and software. So what I've been looking at doing, kind of inspired by DJ Slope's Complete History, because I like how he gets in depth and kind of maps out an entire franchise's layout. As I mentioned earlier with the Target Renegade game, I like when things happen with licensing or with localizing and games transform and game series expand. So what I want to do is map essentially the family tree of different complex game franchises. So like, you know, the Wonder Boy, branching off into the Adventure Island series, all the different spin-offs from the Bomberman games. The types of videos where it's like you go in curious about a specific franchise and find out that the franchise is a lot bigger than you thought. And just like how some of the things were twisted and how certain games may be related. I'm going to start going with some of the bigger ones. The first one I do want to do is Wonder Boy. Because I finally have the entire series. I finally played through the entire series, including the Monster Boy, which again is something I'll get into. But then again, you know, touch on Adventure Island, a couple games you may not expect. So yeah, that's what'll be my contribution to the channel at some point in the future. We'll see. We are Geeks on the Side because we have full-time jobs, so we'll see.
On the side part is the key here right now, unfortunately, and that's why I'm usually not on camera when like Vishan and Burton are hosting their streams or our videos.
Mostly at work.
I'm stuck at work, unfortunately. But
we'll
find a way to work around that.
Oh damn!
What did you say?
Yeah, Burton.
Excuse me. Just let him be. He's the one who heard it. That's fine.
That's all right. It'll be in the video.
Yeah, he's gonna be editing.
It'll be in the video.
So you're gonna be the one with the green spot over your face.
I'll find something to put over him. I'll find something.
That's fine. That's fine. Someone's gonna find that racist.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, I was gonna say too. Another thing you might. I can probably do this. Tell you off camera here, but yeah. All right, folks. Well, that's it for our special pickup video. We will catch you next time.
This is like I said, video and Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A. Yeah, and then like I said, we'll go ahead and leave links to all those people that we saw and talked to and things like that, just to give them shout outs and stuff like that, because we did mention them, so I would like to credit them, and you know, that way they get the views as well from us discussing them as well. But thanks for watching, and once again we are Geeks on the Side. Bye.